And welcome back to Crypto Hulk. Got a show for you today, buddy. We're going to take Ripple back 20 years from today. We're going back to the future, find out what the hell's going on. I posted some short videos. You can look on my video section. I will be referring to those videos during the show. So you can put the video in, put it on mute, and watch it while I'm going over it. Hold on a sec. Got my fruit veggie protein drink. All right, it's special. Let's see who showed up first. Will DeVos. Interesting. Helio Bob. I hope I'm still awake then. Yeah, 1970 legend rolls in there. AC Cobra says, wow, 20 years. I think it's time to let loose and let these 3Xs do what they're supposed to do. So I'm a deep diver. Here we go. JB Cryptkeeper 11. Stephen Morris is here right now. Now. And let's see. Not a zip. AOG. Charles Looney. At Christmas while in London. I wonder if any of them are walking in the park. Let's see here. Me too. Just my own interpretation of the Matrix. I'm just catching up real quick on the top chats. We got Henry Brown here. One of these days we'll look back at these times and thank Hulk for helping us stay focused. P.S. Don't follow the mainstream. They are zombies. Thank you for that there, buddy. Then you got Jeremy. Best show. No best class on YT for learning everything you need to know about crypto. You move past it and your world just might get wrecked. So please stay tuned in. And for your own sake and families, become a member. Yes, eventually the door will close when that day hits, and maybe once we pump $5 or $10, I think I'm shutting down allowing people to join, and just those people that are already millionaires along with us, because we're gonna have all these groupies and people trying to rip you off and shit. So like once this thing takes off and I'm a millionaire, I'm shutting down the allowing people to join shit. Time's up. It'll just be us until we're super fucking rich. And then once we're super fucking rich, then the membership dues, of course, go up dramatically. Now, I'll throw it all in. It's always worth it, right? This channel's totally worth whatever you get charged. Good evening, says Robert Griswold. Then you got G.O. by Jove, G.O. All right. Package deal, says Mr. Mission. All right. So I showed you a video, and we're going to start with the future, with the origin. So far, the origin of XRP. We're going to take it back 20 years. Oh, damn, Crypto Hulk. The other channels don't do this. Well, thought I'd have a little something special here for you. I want you to take it back. We're going to take it back 20 years so you can understand how did this Ripple come about and what's the purpose of it? And there's so many questions that I just don't know. As time goes on, I'll get more and more information. So somebody gave me this portion right here. The actual IOU list we're going to look at later. That's what I already had, but I didn't have this particular 6-page paper here from 2004. Okay. And Ryan Fugger is the one who wrote this paper. And I don't know where it was written at. I do have a title, but I'm not giving that up because then, of course, I get no credit all over the. Like, I'm not the one who discovered this. Somebody gave it to me, but still, I'm not giving it out because I never get credit for it anyway. So that's fine. If you find it on your own, great. Um, Money as an IOU. So here we go. Now, this might be a little hard to follow. I'm going to try to explain it the best I can. You can go into my video section, find this video I just made about 3 hours ago. You can pull it up and blow it up and just simply follow along with me as I read through it. I'll announce to you each section that I'm at so you can follow right along. And let's take a little trip back in the time machine, shall we? And let's go back 20 years from today, while the greatest minds were trying to solve the world problem of money and how to get control of global currencies. How to change what we're looking at with Ripple, we're changing the whole world. I actually had somebody on Twitter after I made that video and stuff and posted it. They're like, well, why is it taking so long? And I'm just like, are you fucking serious, guy? I showed you 20 years ago when Ripple started. All this motherfucker wants to know is why is it taking so long? And I'm just like, that's why you're broke, dude, because you're fucking stupid. That's the wrong question. One of the many right questions that person could have asked was, wow, Crypto Hulk, that's incredible. Or what's the next step? I mean, there's like a million questions, but to ask why is it taking so long? Are you fucking stupid? Like, wow, my God, I just drop a major truth bomb. And this one's like, well, why is it taking so long? And why are you so fucking stupid? Start with your parents on that one. All right, let's read through this. Everybody, I gave you enough time to go find it. Okay, I can use a simple IOU for payment. Now, this word IOU, this is a thought process. My IOU, okay, I can use a simple IOU for payment with 3 restrictions. Number 1, my IOU will only be accepted by my friends who trust me. I cannot pay strangers. That's 1 restriction. Each of my friends will only accept an IOU from me up to a certain amount. Number 3, if my friends accept my IOU, they cannot use it as currency outside the circle of my trusted friends. What they're kind of talking about here is what is money, what is currency, and if their IOUs are basically what it is. Let's say I have an American dollar and you live in Puerto Rico, and that's a bad example. You live in Ecuador, and I send you money. Like, I put it in an envelope and I mail it, and I know it's illegal to do that, but I do it anyway because Crypto Hulk does what the fuck he wants. So I put the money inside of a Faraday bag so the government can't scan it. Oops, didn't mean to aid and abet your illegal activity. So let's say I don't put it in a Faraday bag to block the magnetic and shit in the x-ray machines, and I just send it through and you get your money. Well, now you've got dollars in Ecuador, okay? So you want Ecuador dollars. I'm just saying, just go with it, all right? So that money is an IOU. And when that person converts it into Ecuadorian dollars, that's still technically an IOU, but it's that country's IOU. Now, in America, up until about 1970, 71, from like, let's see, from the 1930s, when America went on the gold standard, you could literally that dollar that you had was worth gold. So you could literally turn it in to get gold, technically speaking, okay, back in the 30s or whatever. So that's why it was like a promissory note. It's an IOU from the government. You hold that, and that paper is the government owes you X amount of dollars in gold. Got it? Pretty simple when we're on the gold standard. That's what the concept that we're talking about here with IOUs. In order to understand what is Ripple, it's a system of IOUs, a global system of IOUs and networks of IOUs, okay, where it transcends banks and people's money, where value will flow and have a ripple effect throughout the whole world. Kind of, you like that one, huh? Um, let's go to the next section here. There are severe restrictions with IOUs, okay? Number one, national currency notes. So just like I said, like the dollar bill or whatever, the ruble, whatever, national currency notes are essentially IOUs from the government, good for the payment of taxes. Everyone will accept nearly unlimited amount of government IOUs. Yeah, not anymore. Which, if we consider the government like a person, it's a very bad person, means we trust it a lot. Not anymore, since we give it nearly unlimited credit. Well, the government sure knows about unlimited credit because they print that shit out so much. A bank account is an IOU from a bank, a promise to redeem the account for a certain number of government IOUs on demand. So let's say you have a bank account and you put your money, which are IOUs, into that bank account, and then they loan off that money and make interest, called fractional reserve lending, which is seriously fucked up. Okay. Um, that's just horrible having fractional reserve lending. But that's what happens. So those dollar bills are IOUs. Next, a bank loan is an exchange of a personal IOU. The loan agreement which the bank accepts for a bank IOU at a fee. Loaning is the mechanism for the creation of bank IOUs. So this is what, see, now we're kind of getting there. I know this is a little bit kind of different. The very few of you will probably get what I'm talking about, but that's okay. I'm just going to talk to those who are really trying, because when you understand what this is, you'll see what Ripple truly is, what it's trying to do. All right. So, like I said, a bank loan is an exchange of a personal IOU. The bank gives me money, and now I owe the bank money. Okay, so that's where the IOU comes in, and that money itself is an IOU from the government. Um, we need access to bank IOUs and government IOUs to pay each other, since we do not trust each other's IOUs. So I go to buy your car. I got to give you something that you trust that's money. You might trust bank money, which is called a check, or you might trust government IOUs, which is called cash. Okay. Um, if you're in another country, money is different things, but that's what a IOU is. It's not giving someone gold because that's actual value. Got it? So paper represents IOUs, and crypto represents IOUs as well. Now you're starting to kind of see where we're going here, okay? Government and bank IOUs are valuable because they are universally trusted. So if I want to pay you, instead of giving you my IOU, I give you government IOUs like cash, okay? Or a bank IOU, which is like a check. Well over 90% of the money supply is bank IOUs, which are created out of thin air. Got it? when a bank vouches for someone's personal IOU. Now we get into trusted intermediaries. It says banks and the government. One way of thinking about this is that the bank or the government, in the case of the cash payment, acts as a trusted intermediary in the payment. Okay, you have a Ferrari, you sell it to me, I hand you a suitcase full of cash, okay? All that cash is an IOU from the government, okay? You trust that that money means I owe you $400,000. So, but what we tend to look at cash as just value or money, it's not. Now, cash should be backed by gold, and that would give it a backing, but still, that cash is still an IOU until you get on to what's the value, gold, silver, whatever you find of value. Okay. So you're holding a suitcase of IOUs from the United States government. So you trust the government's IOUs, and you walk away, and I drive away in the Ferrari. All right. The diagrams below represent the situation with arrows representing IOUs. So, in this first diagram we're looking at, it's me, and the bank shoots me $100, and then I got to pay it back, let's say at 5%. So, over time, whatever that might be, then I shoot the bank back $105. Okay. So, what happened? First, I've taken out a loan for $100 from the bank at a 5% simple interest, meaning I owe back $105 when I pay the bank back. Now, I may already have had some money in a bank account to pay you, but for over 90% of the money in circulation, someone had to initially create that money. Now, next, I pass the $100 in the bank IOU to you in a payment. So it goes from me, and I give the bank $105, and then the bank sends you 100. Okay. Now there's a different trusted intermediary. So first we're talking about banks. Now here's where Ripple starts coming in and what problem they're trying to fix. And that's finding different intermediaries besides a bank or a series of banks. So how things work today is, or how has they worked in the past? I go to Bank of America, they send the money to somebody who sends it to some other bank, crosses the globe, goes over there, shoots through this, that, moneymaker stuff. Then it ends up in the other person's hands. So that $100 I sent, I had to probably add $30 just to get it to my friend. Because everybody along the way, you have all these intermediary people that are charging a ton of money. This is the problem, this IOU situation that Ripple is solving, okay? Now, here's the next title, the next section, a different trusted intermediary. Wouldn't it be nice to find someone other than the bank who trusted me, whom you trusted, and who would be cheaper to deal with? So if I said, let me look right here. If I said Underpass 61, I'm going to send you $500. It'll be like, yeah, great. Okay. Oh, thanks for the $5. I'm late. Sorry, Hulk. There's my tardy slip. Okay, I can dig that. That's totally cool. JB Crypt Keeper 11 gifted 5 Crypto Hulk memberships. Very cool. Let's see if I can see them here. They're not showing up just right now. Okay. Let me go back to this, our study. So what they're saying is, wouldn't it be great? Wouldn't Ryan? Here's what Ryan figured. Ryan Fugger is one who designed all of this. He invented this. This is where, right now, at least I'm saying, Ripple came from. This paper right here is where Ripple came from. You get this? This is where Ripple is from. This is where Ripple was born into existence. This is pretty amazing for me, at least. I don't get into tech. this is about as techy that I like to get, and it's not even technical. I'm more of a history buff. I'm more of an investigator. Like this stuff is very interesting to me because I want to find out like who the fuck invented Ripple. And here we go, right here. This is it, ground zero. It takes us all the way back to this paper that Ryan Fugger wrote 20 years ago, explaining a payment system which we know as today as Ripple. And like that to me is a pretty awesome thing. You have the privilege of sitting here and me to explaining to you. I'm not the best in the world at this, but we have a pretty good idea with these IOU things, what's going on. We're still learning it. We're not done with the report. We're only 1/3 done. Now, wouldn't it be nice to find someone other than a bank who trusted me and you trusted, and that we could send, so I could send Underpass the money. So normally, if I was going to send Underpass $500, like I said, I go through B of A, and that $500 is probably going to cost me like $550 or whatever to send it to him. So I have to spend $50 to do that. But because these are IOUs, all along the way, this person's going to owe, that person's going to owe, and nobody trusts each other. So what if we have a way to pay people where everybody trusts each other and the payments move like lightning fast and nobody's going to try to rape you on prices? So we look at a little picture. Me sends $100 to Sally, and then since we both trust Sally, Sally sends money to you. All right. I've given Sally an IOU for $100 in exchange for her IOU, which I pass along to you. So I have an IOU. I send it to Sally. Sally takes my IOU. She converts it into her IOU and sends it to you at $100, and you have an IOU from Sally. So you go redeem that in whatever form you want. Okay. That's basically what we got going on. Let me go to the next page. We're going to page 3. Now, okay, here's what it says. Notice how I still owe $100 and Sally is still even, but the arrows have rearranged since you paid half of your $100 balance to Bob, who gains a credit of 50. So here I am, I got $100. I shoot $50 to Bob, $50 to Sally. Okay. Sally shoots that $50 to you. And Bob runs away with the $50. It says here, and Bob, who gains a credit of 50. You could pay anyone this way as long as you find a chain. Now here we go. This is important to see. This is how Ripple did it. I'm showing you. I'll tell you what. In the current Ripple SEC court case, Ripple didn't want certain documents shown because it's their proprietary method on how they built their network of just what we're seeing right here about the IOU list. When you understand what I'm showing you here, this is the basis for how Ripple started it all. They take this little report with Bob and Sally and you and me, and they blow it out into a revolution of payments in the world. And when you understand this concept that I'm going through right now, I'm going to show you later the Ripple IOU global customer list. And there's like got to be 500 people. These were customers, 500 of separate on-ramps and off-ramps. And this was like 10, 12 years ago. I mean, now there's probably thousands, right? Oh, man. And it goes back to what I'm teaching you. If you understand what I'm teaching you right here, you'll understand what the Ripple IOU customer list is. And I'm going to show you it later. And then you start to understand, oh, that's how Ripple did it, okay? But Ripple didn't want this kind of proprietary information known, but because Ripple said, yeah, we're going to have to seal the court documents. Well, Crypto Hulk found a back door into getting what Ripple doesn't want people to know, like their competition or whatever it might be. But I'm showing you right now just because, that's just what crypto does. So it says you could pay anyone this way as long as you could find a chain of trusted intermediaries connecting you to the payments recipient, and as long as those intermediaries had enough available credit or liquidity or money between them to make your payment. Now, I'm going to go over this sentence again because that right there is the base of the pyramid. Imagine a pyramid. This is the base of the pyramid. Now, these little examples. Okay, so let's say you got me and I shoot Sally 50 bucks and then I shoot Bob 50 bucks over there, but you're over there and you need money. So what if somehow Sally with her IOU, she's connected, so she shoots you 50 bucks and somebody else down the lane, they shoot you 50. Now you got your 100. But let me explain this one last time, and then I got this next diagram to show you so you understand better. You could pay anyone this way as long as you find a chain, or let's say a spider web. I like it better as a spider web. Imagine the example I want to give. I want to try to maybe improve what they're saying here. Ryan talks about a chain of trusted intermediaries. But what if you were to develop a three-dimensional spider web of intermediaries? That would be even cooler, because then you could shoot stuff around. Like imagine a spider web and then have 50 or 100 bisections or dissections level. Imagine a 3D spider web and all those people are on a network. All these people are on a network and they can shoot money. Like this bank doesn't even have to know the other one. It shoots it money. Who sends it there? Who sends it there? It ends up sending it over to there. That's what I was kind of imagining here. As I read this earlier, I'm like, I don't know about a chain, but a spider web that's 3D that goes in all different directions. Now that's a payment network, all right? And that's what Ripple basically is. It says you find a chain of trusted intermediaries. That's your IOU list. Okay, we're going to show it here when this article is done. I'm going to show you the IOU list. I'm trying to break down the model right now so you get it. Imagine you're on a spider web and you got different spider webs cutting it different ways. It goes all different ways. So you can literally have a little network where these people these IOUs, these on ramps and off ramps that might not even know each other at all. It doesn't matter because they have servers. Each one has a server, and they're in this big network, and they all kind of coordinate and work together how stuff gets bought. And so, let's say you send 500 XRPs over there, but you need this, so they send you that, and then they go. That's how it's done. Okay, I don't know all the technicalities of it, but I'm just showing you basically how it's done. That's why these guys are billionaires and I'm sitting on the floor, right? So what they show here is a very crude example. A sends $10 to B. B sends $10 to C. C sends that 10 to D. And then D sends it to E. So that's how you go from A to E. That $10 just gets shot all the way down the chain, okay? In this arrangement, no one ever has to accept an IOU from anyone they don't trust. The problem is finding a chain of trusted intermediaries for each transaction. So what Ripple does, imagine this. Okay, so you got a Ripple hub. Imagine the liquidity hub, okay? And you can have multiple of these hubs around the world, all right? Now, what Ripple has is IOUs all over the world. But some of these IOUs, they don't know that somebody else. They might know somebody here, they might know somebody there. So here's an example. Ripple's computer program, however it works, let's say I'm in Chicago and I want to send money to my friend who's in Buenos Aires, South America. I I get on to the Ripple network, okay, and I send off my money. Ripple will find all the intermediaries that are willing to put up and work with me. They do all this in 2 to 5 seconds, okay? So there might be like one, two, three, four, five, six banks. They all join a certain chain, and there's all kinds of chains. So everybody on that chain trusts everybody else all up and down the line. And just like we said here, A sends to B, who sends to C, who sends to D. Ripple in 2 to 5 seconds has the availability to check all their on and off ramps all over the whole globe within 2 to 5 seconds and send your transmission. Because how do they do it? They will form a chain, a delivery chain with maybe there's 5 or 8 different IOU people that have on and off ramps to Ripple, and it'll coordinate those 8 people, bam, like that, your payment sent in 2 seconds. Because all these people in this particular chain, they trust each other, so they make their own chains. And I'll leave that one at that. Let me check the comment section and see if you kind of understanding this so far. Let's see, put that money into a speculative asset. Yes. It's like a bridge system. Jeremy says it's like a bridge system. Yeah. So, Jeremy, what we got going on is, again, I want to send money to my friend in Brazil. I go on to my Ripple, let's say, application, my wallet. I got a Ripple wallet because we already know Ripple has wallets, right? We already know from what I have been teaching you for the past at least 10, 12 years, Ripple has a gold silver exchange with platinum. The vault's actually in Singapore. I've taught you all this stuff. They have all these cryptos in the Singapore, Ripple Singapore, got it? With all the cryptos and the gold can back all the stuff up. And then you got to have people along the way to act your IOUs. These people will be your on and off ramps, and you get a string of them going, and they all will send money to each other, and they're not going to charge you. They may or may not, but they wouldn't want to charge each other because they work together to move. It'd be like me trying to charge you, but then you charge me more. So that's not going to work. So there's like such an almost nominal fee. It's pretty much free because these people in the chain, it goes back and forth. So they don't want to have to be like spending. Then it goes back to the same thing we got now is banks ripping people off. So that's why there's no real price except what 0.00005 cents or some shit, like it's almost nothing, okay? Because then we're back to what we got now, where you send $500 and it costs you 10%. That's what we're trying to get rid of, okay? So if you have a long chain and multiple chains all over the place, Ripple, I don't know how it's done. I don't want to know. Ripple has a computer program with the availability to find the fastest, cheapest chain with the fastest conversion, the cheapest conversion, and then boom, it's done, 2 to 5 seconds. That's how this works. And that's what Ryan Fugger 20 years ago came up with this idea. Let me go down to part 2. It shows Roman numeral 2. A proposal, now we're getting into a proposal for a decentralized currency network protocol. Okay. To facilitate decentralized payment via non-bank. See what we got going on here? Now, you've got nodes on the network for Ripple that are at MIT. We just learned that in Canada, what is it? Some college in Canada is now a validator on the Ripple network, like a node. Okay. You can have banks be nodes. That's fine. But what we're doing here is Ripple found a way to move money around the world using IOUs that form chains that are non-banks and non-government intermediaries. This is amazing. For the first time in history now, you got people that are like money service. Now, Ripple's a money service business. I already taught you that from the 2015 Ripple settlement agreement. So, to facilitate or to move decentralized payments via non-bank and non-government intermediaries, we need to maintain a what? Social network. That's what the Ripple IOU list is, which I'm going to show you here in a minute. And basically, I made the video. You can look at the video yourself, but I'll go over it. I'll go over it here when I'm done with this. So this will put it all together at the end. So what the Ripple IOU list is that I showed you, there's like 400 or 500 customers. These are people that are non-banks. Some are probably banks, but non-banks that are helping move IOUs all around the world at lightning speed. That's what Ryan Fugger is showing us in this paper. You need to maintain a social network in which connections between parties are defined by granting credit. A computer will do the work. Here we go. So Ripple has, it says, a computer will do the work of finding IOU payment paths through the network. So he just said it. All these, what Ripple's done since day one, since like 2010 or whatever, is come up with on and off ramps all over the world. Ripple has come up with ways with the customer IOU list. So these IOU lists are hundreds of non-banks and banks that are willing to work. It's within Ripple's social network, okay? And you're gonna find, and then each of these customers will then become validators, so they can validate transactions and verify. Everybody will be on the same page. You know, if Bank A sends Bank B $1,000, Bank A validates that. Bank B validates that at the same time because it's atomic settlement. That's what Ripple is, atomic settlement. And that shows up on the blockchain. Boom. A says we sent it. B says we got it. Happens automatically at the same time. The transaction's validated. That other person gets the $1,000. That's how that works. All right. That's what they envisioned 20 years ago. And here's where we're at now. A computer will do the work of finding IOU payment paths. So I go to send money. The computer might take 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds at the most, maybe 5, to find out how is the money from Chicago that I want to send to Brazil. What's the fastest, cheapest route? The computer will figure this shit out so fast, and then boom, send the money. By using IOUs, which are different partners all along. Maybe one IOU goes to Alaska, the next one goes down to Mexico, and the third one goes straight to Brazil. I don't know how all that happens, or maybe there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whatever it is, it shoots these different places, on ramp, off ramp, boom, 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 shoots over, then boom, ends up in the other person's Ripple wallet. That's how pretty much I think it happens. Then there's some questions that said, should the social network be maintained on a single server? Now that's centralized. That would probably not be a good thing. Or distributed among several servers. It says here, I think this might be the answer. It makes sense to store a system for decentralizing payment intermediaries in a decentralized fashion. So, among as many servers as wish to participate in the system, thus the need for a protocol for servers to communicate. That's what Ripple has, is a protocol or a program. So all these servers all around the world, all these nodes on the network, all these non-banks validating transactions, they're all going to be separate computers on separate servers. That's why you can't really take down a Ripple system like you could Bitcoin, Ethereum, anything proof of work, because you have to find who are all these servers all over the world where they're at. God knows there's probably 1,000 or 2,000 of them now. You got to locate where all these are, and then you got to take over them. That's going to be pretty much fucking impossible. All right. Next, should there be one currency or many? There's no reason why mutual credit networks in different denominations couldn't operate simultaneously on the same servers. Payments can only be made by finding credit paths in a single denomination. Currency exchange is possible by trading IOUs in one denomination for another. So that's where the Ripple Liquidity Hub in the decentralized or the digital exchange comes in, where you send dollars and it can convert to something else. Okay. And it can all be done in a split second, because what will happen is, now I'm going to slow it down. Okay. So I go into my Ripple wallet. I get your wallet address. And when I push the send button, Ripple will then look throughout its entire network, figure out the fastest, cheapest, most accurate way to send the money by using different nodes, by using different IOU customers. And then the transaction, boom, happens atomically. And then the money gets there right at the same time that it says send. So that's kind of basically how that works. I'm going to scroll through. Let me check some questions, and then I'll finish up this article, this report right here, this paper that Ryan Fugger wrote. Let's see. There's a second coin. XDC. You could switch to any location. Okay. The subject important as Fugger is one of the three founders of WorldCoin next to OpenAI creator. Oh, now that's very interesting. The crypto with proof of humanity when you scan your eye. So, this subject important as Fugger is one of the three founders of WorldCoin. Oh my God, that's some amazing information. Next to OpenAI creator. Okay, that's very interesting there. So this Ryan Fugger guy. So here's the thing. So 20 years ago, Ryan Fugger writes a paper, and he basically starts what we know as Ripple today. The guy disappears. He's scrubbed off of everything. You can't find any trace of this guy. Doesn't that seem kind of like different? Now, some people are able to find stuff about Ryan Fugger. Maybe if we go on Chat GPT and type that name in there, maybe it could scan the whole internet and find out stuff on this guy. I couldn't find anything on the Ryan guy. Very little. Like it's pretty tough to make it to where I can't find shit. So, but that's some good information. I didn't know Ryan was mixed up in that WorldCoin, and that's another crypto that I found. I deep dived that. It was called WorldCoin, and now it's called. It used to be called World Dollar. Then I think politically they didn't like that name, so they changed it to WorldCoin. I was the only one on the internet that showed you the original WorldCoin website and all the stuff it's supposed to do, and how the banking system's bad and all that stuff. So that's why I like this channel, because you guys get like the best deep dive information that's not even on anywhere in the internet. And these other channels just have no idea even what's going on. Let me burn through the rest of this. I'm going to paraphrase stuff. They just do a bunch of questions. How secure is it? How private is Ripple? Should servers be allowed to charge for their services? That's where they're really not going to charge, because then you get back to the same. Basically, it's sent for free. Basically, RippleNet is sending money for free, because if all the servers started charging everybody, then we'd have what we have now, completely fucked up financial system where people are making money off of us. So let me scroll down more. Question 11. How could a merchant accept type of payment? Question 12. Um, will transactions be fast enough? And that's kind of like the end of what I wanted to show you. So we're done with that 6 pages. You have the video. You can go through. I pretty much read all the way up to about page. I finished page 3. So if you want to read this, the rest on your own, you got page 4, 5, and 6, which are very small. It probably take you 20 minutes of reading this, maybe 30. Um, but I'm not getting into all this extra stuff. I just wanted to basically show you about the IOU. Now, let me go into what we have here. I made a video, and it's called the Ripple IOU list. Truly amazing that we have this. You're lucky to have it. What I'm looking at here, and you're looking at it too because you got the video, it's the Ripple IOU list. This is from the it's showing 2014. I have a feeling it's 2012. I mean, it stopped at 2014, but I have a feeling this was started earlier than 2014. That's what I'm saying. Like before Ripple was even a thing. Oh, I got another deep dive for like maybe tomorrow morning where it's talking about Ripple like in 2010. Oh, yeah. Before Ripple was even a thing. I got some cool deep dive stuff we're going over. Trust and believe. You're going to have some, it's going to be cool. So, what you need to have is on and off ramps within a Ripple network of trusted IOUs to move money around. They got to have chains. You have to have these IOUs work with each other to join certain chains to send money. Okay. And I'll read off some of the ones we got. Bitstamp, PeerCover, Ripple Trade Japan, Ripple EMSG, Bitstamp again, Bitstamp, CoinX. CoinX has like, and that's Australia, the Australian dollar. PeerCover has about 4 or 5 wallets. Beat, something called Beatcoin, and then Bigcoin, PeerCover again. Bitstamp, CoinPip, Dividend Rippler, GBI Just Coin. Then you got Lake BTC. That's a Chinese, secret little Chinese one. Then you got Mr. Ripple. Then you got No Fiat Coin. That's what I think that World Coin might be. I'm almost positive. But I could open up all these and look. You got Ripple Fox, Ripple Israel, Ripple Singapore, Ripple Japan, Ripple Union, Ripple China, Ripple RU. I can go on and on. Snap Swap, Wise Pass, World Dollar. Oh, there we go with the World Dollar. So that's World Coin right there. If I click on World Dollar, I'll do it right now. Oh, they took that one down maybe. Sometimes they do this if okay, never, so they shut that down. I used to be able to access that. Oh, the little 3-letter agencies are getting sneaky now. They realized they had to put everybody on duty because Crypto Hulk is finding out all the little hiding places where they had all their, where they thought that they scrubbed it, but Crypto Hulk. See what the 3-letter agencies do? They started Ripple. This whole Ripple thing is 3-letter government agencies, all right? And as I make my show, they find out the places that they didn't scrub. So they go back and they eliminate these little websites that I find. And like, fuck, but at least I know we're on the right path because they're deleting ones after I do a story or something on it. They go back and they find it and they wipe it. Kind of like what Hillary did to all her computer stuff with hammers and bleach bit. Yeah, too bad Donald Trump didn't do what Hillary did. Here we go. We got again. So, what are all these Ripple Union, Bitstamp, Snap, Swap, Crypto? What is all this stuff? And you click on it and you see websites. Okay. What the Ripple IOU list is, everybody, is what we were talking about in the 6-page paper that only read 3 pages. Here's what they did. Here's Ripple's proprietary, like, secrets, if you want to call it that. Is they started off, okay, we knew of Ripple in about 2014. They really, I think, came up with a name around 2010. Okay. And in those 4 years leading up to when they officially launched Ripple in 2014, they were already doing business around the world as Ripple. They just never acknowledged it, like, okay? It wasn't like open. 1970s legend. Amazing. You the man, Hulk. Thank you very much for that. I have this amazing information because I'm trying to teach you guys this stuff so you know exactly, like, if our government decides to outlaw XRP, or if our government, or if Gary says, oh, it's a fake or a scam, it's not. It's our government. XRP is our fucking government. And so is the XLM and the XDC. I don't have all the proof for those, but trust and believe. Give me some time. I can figure out just about anything. All right. What I'm showing you is the proprietary stuff. So what Ripple did, the government did, United States, is they worked undercover, built payment systems, and they went out into the world and started to get IOUs. Trusted IOU partners, non-banks, okay? Because what is Ripple actually doing? Tearing apart the banking system. That's what they're basically doing. I know they don't, Brad Garlinghouse doesn't want to come out and like, oh, we assist banks. We're not trying, they're destroying the banking system. Okay, that's just what this is. So, but that doesn't sound popular. You don't want to be a head of a company like Ripple and say, yeah, we're destroying all the banks in the world. But that's basically what they're doing. What Ripple did in the very beginning on that Ripple IOU list that I showed you, I know in 2014, the list that I have is all the Ripple customers. Like there's wallet addresses. Now, there may not be like totally separate companies or nothing, but maybe one company like Bitstamp might have 100 wallet addresses. That means there's 100 on-off ramps. So Bitstamp could then take those 100 wallets and form 4 or 5 different companies. And now, you see what I'm saying? So what Ripple did is find these early IOU people. They're the early Ripple customers, allocate them a certain amount of wallets, shoot XRP into those wallets, and have them spreading liquidity throughout the world. See, what you don't want to do is an Ethereum type deal where you have whales come in. Like, I'm just totally blowing up this whole Ethereum case and everything. I'm just showing you how it all went down. If you watch my show, I'm showing you exactly how all the fraud shit went down, and you get all that $5. All right. So in the Ethereum case and these other scammy coins, what they did is they had not private, but kind of like private ICO kind of deals where whales can come in, like the top banks. Those are who the whales are, the top banks. Let's just keep that real. All the top banks are the whales in Ethereum. There's no secret like, oh, who are the whales? It's JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs. It's all these motherfuckers, all right? So the whales come in, buy the Ethereum when nobody else knows, like, what the fuck's Ethereum, right? They come in, they make a plan. Joseph Lubhan's and Vitalik Buterin, they'll come in, and both these guys, I don't think they're U.S. citizens. That's why they do all this shit. They're operating out of Canada or some shit, so they can't get in trouble in the United States or whatever it might be. But what they did with Ethereum is sold a fuck ton of crypto to like some whales, but they didn't. Now, what Ripple did is what I showed you here. They have they're spreading liquidity with IOUs. So these are partners, actual partners who intend to use XRP, spread it around the world, buy and sell with it, and transfer. The whales, their only intention is to buy it and sell it off for a profit, and they're gone. So that's what this is where Ethereum's the big scam. Yes, early banks developed on the Ethereum platform. They're not going to use that shit. Look, for at least 12, 14 years, Ripple has been out there pounding the pavement, making all these Ripple customers called IOUs. Okay, we'll call the Ripple customers IOUs. Year after year after year. In 2014, that list that I have, there's got to be 500 mail wallets in there. It's got to be 500 wallets. Now, there's not 500 customers, but there's 500 wallets minimum. Maybe there's 700, because I could scroll through that list, just like, okay, the country China's got probably 200 wallets. Okay, so there's probably 1,000 of those wallets. I'm not going to go through each wallet. Man, we'd be here for like 3 months talking about it, but there's like about 1,000 wallets back then, and God knows how many there are now. All right, this is like 2014 and before. Ripple allocated 1,000 wallets at least by 2014 to where they could potentially have 1,000 customers, which are IOUs, or 1,000 validators, whatever you want to call it, nodes. Okay, and these people are in the social network. I read the term off Ryan Fugger's report. Ripple was developing a social network of non-banks. So, look, I'll just keep it real. Ripple is a bank killer, and that's why they have all these non-bank um, IOU lists, because these are the people that are going to be shooting money all around the world, so we can bypass the top banks. See, the top banks, you got JP Morgan, Citibank, and HSBC. Those are the biggest money hogs when you send money. They make just a ton. So what Ripple does is undercut them. But that Ripple, the reason this has taken so long, I understand why the one guy asked me on Twitter, why is it taking 20 years? Because who runs the world? Like, let's keep this really fucking real now. Don't act like you're brand new. The banks run the fucking world. So if Ripple comes out with something that's going to chop the banks off at the knees, they're not going to want to mess with this stuff unless you give them enough of these XRPs to kind of shut them up. So who was the first one? Was Goldman Sachs. I showed you that. I had a 2013 Ripple page, and Goldman Sachs was right there from day one. So Ripple, I don't know how many they broke off Goldman Sachs. You got to basically bribe the banks to get this, because here's why. The banks are going to lose money through the money transfers, so you got to give them something in the future. Look, XRP is a bank killer. All right, if you really understand what it does, that's why I talked about non-banks and non-government institutions are going to be on the IOU list, so they're shooting money all around the world, not using banks. So people say, oh, XRP is the banker coin. Well, they're fucking stupid because they haven't watched my show. XRP is not a banker's coin. The fact that banks are using it because they know they have to, or they're fucking done, son, right? Because we don't need banks. Ripple, I already showed you right now with that secret little Ryan Fugger article, his report. Ripple did not need banks because they're using non-bank IOUs. Get it? Now, the fact that the banks are using it now is because they realize they're going to die if they don't get it. So Ripple made some kind of deal pre-allocating the top banks in the world to keep them happy and realize, hey, you're going to be out of business, so you might as well buy into this. We're going to give you maybe $1 billion a piece for each of the banks. Like JP Morgan gets $1 billion, Citibank gets whatever. I don't know what their numbers are, but they give them a certain amount as a Christmas present because the banks know they're not going to make money off of sending money around the world anymore. Those days are over. Got it? So how are they going to make money? By having control of it, one XRP that might have a 10, 20, 50, $100,000 a piece. If you get $1 billion XRPs as your buy off, to Ripple will go to Chase Bank and say, hey, we're going to buy you off. You're going to work with us. You're going to die. How many XRP are we going to give you? And I think maybe if they gave them a billion, take 1 billion and times that shit. Well, it wouldn't be that. Maybe they give them 50 billion or something. Times that by 10,000 bucks. How much money is that? Like, fuck. That's crazy money, right? So that's how the banks are getting in. XRP is not a banker's coin; it's a banker's killer's coin. So, but they had to, do the pre-allocation. So that's how all this stuff worked, and that's from the information I just showed you and the Ripple IOU list. That's my investigation on what I found. And my best bet is that's just what the Ryan Figures paper shows. You got to have a list of people that work together, list of banks, entities, businesses, whatever you want to call them, validators, whatever it is, that they're all in the same chain and they're trusted each other. So you can send one to one. It's like a little hotline. It goes right down the line. Boom, 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 boom. Then the person gets the money. Ripple did this by giving each of these IOU customers, they gave them XRP through giveaways and so I've already showed you all this how they did that. Where you get 5,000 free XRPs, and then if you sign up customers, and you get dividends and shit. So some of that was giving away XRP as a security. Now the XRPs were not securities; it was the manner in which Ripple would incentivize these IOU holders. Okay. So I'll make that very clear. The XRP is not a security. It's a bridge currency, is what it does. We all know that. But it's the manner that Ripple did it. Like at first, they gave them whatever 10,000 free XRPs, and they said if you get us more, if you bring us customers that actually use it, and maybe if you bring us more IOU people, then we'll pay you off. Now that is like an incentive, so that's dividends and shit. So that's securities right there, okay? But that's pretty much what I've been studying, trying to figure out for you all. Some of you got it, some of you don't. Go back and watch the show again if you can't, if you didn't quite get it, and watch it once or twice. And then you'll have an understanding on everything that's going on. And you'll see truly underneath the water, down at the iceberg, that what is going on with this. Angel Hendricks, thanks for your donation there. It says, you're the people's champion. Great stuff. So now I just showed you all the secrets on how Ripple did their thing. Now we don't have to unseal the court documents because Ripple wanted to hide their proprietary practices. I just showed you right now how they did it. Okay. Daniel C. Thanks for your donations. Let's show support for the green man. Yeah, hit the, I can't donate for some reason. Some people can. If you can donate, I'd greatly appreciate hitting the donate button and testing it out. That would be great. Because yeah, today's show, it's pretty extraordinary. It's showing you the origins now this is just for the past 20 years. And if I keep digging and stuff, maybe I can go 25, 30. I mean, I don't know where this ends. But I know now I got us all the way back to 20 years ago until now. And what are the origins of Ripple in 2004, 5, 6? Tomorrow morning, I'm going to take you, I just took you right now from 2004 upwards. I don't know where that takes us, but tomorrow we're gonna start at 2010. So I think today's show is from 2004 to 2010. Tomorrow morning, I got to look through my notes tonight, put the show together. There's another report. It's 6 pages, something like that. Tomorrow, I'm going to show you from 2004 to 10, which is what we just did now. And then at 2010 up, I'm going to show you what Ripple was doing before it was even Ripple. That's going to be pretty cool to figure that stuff out. So there you have that. Robert Driscoll says, great information. King L7, member for 10 months. Hey, Hulk, appreciate the work. Facts on top of facts. Hope all is well. Absolutely. Let me take a little look. Oh yeah, I'm looking at tomorrow. We got a 19 page. Oh God. I got to go through 19 pages tonight. I might break this report up into 10. I might read all 20 pages tonight when I'm done with the show. 'Cause there's a lot here. I don't know if I'll be able to go through all 19 pages tonight. But this takes us from 2010 up to probably when Ripple started in 2014. So I got a lot of work here. God, I'll just do the best I can. Maybe if I do half a report or something like that in the morning and the other half in the PM. I don't know. We'll see. I'll see how it looks. But this report is dated 2010. So that'll bump us up from 2004 to 2010, starts tomorrow morning. And I'll look through it tonight and let you know what I find. But I just want you to see below the iceberg, right? I want you to see what is going on. The reason it's taking so long, I mean, my God, you've got to basically get. Here's why it takes so long. Like, just think, all the banks around the world. Remember now, banks run the world. Now, money runs the world. So the richest people run the world. What Ripple had to do over 20 years, think about this. Why is it taking so long? Ripple had to convince all the fucking rich people in the world, I've got a new system. You're going to have to switch. You think that's fucking easy? No. I got names of family members, rich family. I'm not going to talk about them now. But you got to convince the Roth, and I'm not mentioning the rest of that family's name. You got to convince them, hey, you might own different kinds of banks and shit, but I'm going to give you a heads up. I work for Ripple. We're going to put you out of business. So here's what we got going on. You can become an IOU. You can become a node on our network. I mean, that's what you literally do. You walk into Wells Fargo and say you're going to take them over. They'll be like, get the fuck out of here, right? And they're going to do that for a certain amount of years. And that's what Ripple had to experience. People not wanting to talk to them. Maybe let's not talk to Ripple. Maybe they'll go away, right? And then, well, let's sue them. Now we're going to sue them. And then when Ripple wins, then it's like, now let's join them. That's why it's taking so long. If you're rich and your family's been rich for hundreds of years, are you just going to switch? Are you going to quit banking the way that you're going to have to switch your banking practices and to use an XRP and shit, man. So Ripple had to convince the whole world, hey, you got to switch. Okay. That takes a lot of time. So, and then you got to edge it takes a lot of time. This video now has lasted an hour and 10 minutes. I'm trying to teach you what Ripple's been doing for 20 years. Okay. And they're still doing it now. They're making more customers, more nodes. Like in Canada, like the college or something's now a node. Ripple's still, they probably have thousands of nodes now. That Ripple IOU list is probably 10 times as long as it is that when I just showed you. All right. On the video I made. That's what's going on. And you have to educate all these rich people in these banks. It takes time for them to get, I had to show you those diagrams of, if A sends B and B sends C, like you got to explain all this to people before they get it. And at first, they don't want to hear it. They're like, shut up, get out of here. But then eventually, Ripple had to start making. So that's why Ripple went to little tiny IOU customers, ones that we've never heard of. And they have by the thousands. And then you start building up them. And then they stop calling JP Morgan when they need a money transfer. And JP Morgan might notice, hey, we just lost 20% of our business this year. Call up SnapSwap or whatever. Find out, like, why don't they call us why don't they use us to send money anymore? So what was happening over the years, people were like, oh, we're using Ripple. And then same thing with Citibank. Citibank's noticing we're not making as much money over cross-border transactions. Go call up Bank of the West and ask them, why aren't they sending as much money anymore? So then JP Morgan or Citibank finds out, oh, they're using Ripple. Because Bank of the West joined with PNB Paribas which is a Ripple partner. So that's probably why Bank of the West would stop using Citibank as much. So then the bigger banks like, oh shit, these little banks, they're not using us anymore. They're going through Ripple. See where this goes? And then pretty soon, Citibank will call up Ripple. Hey, yeah, Ripple. Remember? Hey there, buddy. Hey there, buddy. You were in our office about 5 years ago talking about, XRP and stuff. Hey, we're kind of interested. You want to give us a demonstration and stuff? Okay, next week? Yeah, come over next week. That's what's been happening now. So at first, all the banks, they don't want to listen to Ripple at all. So Ripple's like, fuck it. We'll get these little dinky ass companies. We will use non-banks to send money. Let me repeat. Ripple started to find customers, IOU list, right? Who are non-banks sending money in 2 seconds. Eventually, JP Morgan, Citibank, and HSBC, now they're all Ripple partners. I've already shown all the evidence for it. JP Morgan's worked with the Al Farad exchange in the Middle East, right? Citibank's a Ripple partner. They're all Ripple partners somehow right now. They weren't in the beginning. They were doing this to XRP. So XRP started snatching the little banks up, snatch that little bank, snatch that. And then pretty soon the bigger bank's like, hey, we just lost 30% this year. What the fuck's going on? And they find out there's a company called who? Ripple. I never heard of them. And so it says, yeah, they were here like 3 years ago trying to sell us stuff, but you told them to go away. And the boss will be like, well, tell them to come back. And that's what we got going on right now. So there's your little history lesson. Jeremy says, if this isn't worth $5 a month, I don't know what is. Great stuff, Hulk. Simply amazing. I want you all prepared. I want you to be totally all-knowing. Well, not all-knowing, but I want you to know so much about what's going on in this crypto space. You earned it tonight, buddy. Thank you for breaking it down, says Stroops. Thanks, Stroops. And I believe that'll be the end of the program. Exposing corruption. Non-banks exchanging currency. There you go. So that's how you put banks out of business. You use a virtual currency. You have a ledger, number one. You find a lot of customers that are small. You find customers that are getting beat up by the banks. That's going to be real easy to do, huh? Everybody hates these big banks because they take all your money when you send it overseas. So let's find people that are non-banks called MSBs, money service business. Let's find non-banks to move money and not use the banks that are ripping us off. That's what's going on. I just helped you understand all this stuff. Well, hopefully most of you are listening, but I just broke down to you what Ripple did. Is they started a network of non-banks to take down the top banks. So Ripple's not like this little ass kisser bankers coin. No, Ripple, if you really understand, is designed to destroy all the banks. But they're being nice and calling it, we'll assist the banks. Okay, you can do whatever you want. It's a bank killer. Is what XRP is the bank killer. Bitcoin people have no clue. They say, oh, XRP is the banker's coin. No, it's not, you fucking dumbass. Okay. Now, the only reason, again, why the banks have XRP now is because if they don't, they're going out of business. That's what the Bitcoin people don't get. Yes, Wells Fargo became a partner a couple of years back or whatever. Same thing with be like, why? Because they have no choice. Ripple's like, we don't need you. We've got thousands of these little companies that we call IOUs, or if you want to call them Ripple partners, they're non-bank partners. And we're putting you out of business, Citibank. So here's the deal. Here's what you do, Citibank. We'll give you 50 million XRPs. Get our cloud service through Amazon. Get all hooked up because either play ball with Ripple or you're going out of fucking business. That's why people call it a banker's coin, because they have no fucking idea what I just explained to you tonight. And my name is Crypto Hulk. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a crypto advisor. Don't buy anything I said on this show. Everything I said in the show is a lie. It's not financial advice. And I would run from this program as fast as I can. Ricky Rocket, thanks for your donation. Tonight's show was mind-blowing. Yeah, it was. Got that right. All right, I'm done. I'll see y'all in about 12 hours, roughly. 6:30, 10 hours. Yeah, it'll be 6:30 a.m. Pacific time. Blue cheese out of here.